Hey there, I'm Sal D'Alia, the brand content lead for AdoramaTV, and you're just tuning in to Behind the Beat, where we explore how to create high-quality music videos on a budget. In each episode, I'll share practical tips and tricks to elevate your video production and impress your audience. Whether you're flying solo or rolling with a crew, you can always think big and stretch that budget. Today's episode is focused on a rap video featuring Roach. We shot the video in a couple of hours during a hot afternoon in Beverly Hills. We both were invited by Sony at the Summer House event and took advantage of the amazing location to shoot the music video for his track, Running.
Hey, 1 foot in the sand, seeking it fast. Got a lot of time on me to pass. I need a flash, think damn heat all in the kitchen. Do I get out or do I just give him my all before I give out?
My first meeting with Curtis was to talk about the song. He sent me the lyrics, and I was surprised by the idea and the feelings behind the words. Running is about how Curtis feels in the rap music business, especially how most people expect him to act and perform on the cliché rap music built throughout the decades of history. He's a very introvert and shy guy, which goes in contrast with the bigger-than-life persona someone would expect a rapper to be. He did not have a specific idea for the music video, so it gave me freedom to come up with a concept. When that's the case, I always start with what my limitations are. Sometimes it's budget, location, time of the year, or of the day. In my case, it's basically everything I just mentioned. I have a very small budget, I can only shoot in one location, and it will be done on an afternoon of July in Beverly Hills. I asked the organizer at Sony to send me the planimetry of the venue, where the summer house will take place, and also the schedule to know at what time I can take Curtis away from the activities to focus on the shoot. In the same way I shot Naomi's video, which was featured in the last episode of Behind the Beat. I actually did shoot both of these videos in 2 days back to back. We are lucky that Sony rented a beautiful property with different structures and looks, so using the venue map, I can pinpoint corners or angles where we could shoot and the vibe we can adopt in the video. Based on the elements I have, I came up with a concept, created a mood board, and pitched it to Curtis. The idea is to lean on that dualism and different lifestyle Curtis wrote in the lyrics. The beat is definitely high tempo, so the edit will be fast. That allows me to jump between different scenes in a short amount of time. I will use the classic structure of the rap videos, where the rapper is at the center of every shot and showcases his lavish lifestyle. But I'll alternate that scene with Curtis recording the track and show him in his natural habitat, which is the studio, hard at work making music.
Aim right at the flash of the draw, cause it's one shot or I'm back to the fall. Back to the fall, yeah, I'm asking the gods, what's the right move, what's the right and the wrong? Do I find day when the night's feeling long? Do I find peace when the pain's all gone?
By checking the event schedule, I saw that Curtis was performing and hosting on stage on the third and last day of the event. There will be a 80s night with skating rink and live music. Thinking low budget, you always want to take advantage of anything that will raise the production value of your video. So I suggested to Curtis to take advantage of that night to get B-roll, but also to make it look like it's all part of our video. You can see scenes where I tried to sync Curtis' movements on stage to make it look like he was singing Running, while instead it was performing an older track for the crowd. Same for the skaters, performing to 80s tunes, but with the edit, you can make them look like they're in sync with your music. Once Curtis approved the concept, it was time for shooting day. We started out in the studio, using the beautiful music space at the Summer House. I used the Sony Alpha A7S III and switched between the Leica Samilux 50mm, the Sony 7200 f2.8, and the 35mm f1.4. I also used the PMI Smoke Ninja to get some haze around Curtis, especially for the close-ups, and the Hobolite Mini to help giving me a backlight in a room where there's only one main light coming from the big window. I switched between hand-holding and tripod, depending on the shot and how much I had to push to the wall or in tight spots. I asked Curtis to lip sync around 7 times. With rap music, you need even more coverage in order to have enough footage for a fast edit. If you only have 1 or 2 angles, it will become repetitive even with a fast editing. You can also try in one shot, but the lip sync has to be super precise, which is very hard while maintaining intention or performing for camera instead of a stage. After the studio, we changed the mood and shot by the pool. That's a more stereotypical rap shoot. I kept it clean and colorful with the basic 3 frames, which are the wide shot, medium shot, and close-up. After that, I switched up by using the Insta360 1-inch camera. Curtis made a couple of takes walking around the pool to get that distorted and wide shot typical of the 360 cameras. We finished the shoot using the drone to get both some lip syncing, but mostly to showcase the size of the venue and elevate that production value I talked about earlier.
Yeah, that's $1 million shot.
After a few hours break, I came up with an idea to develop the storyline even more. That's something you can do when working directly with the artist on a low-budget video. If I had to go through agents, agencies, and creative directors, everything has to be tight and locked way before showing up on set. And that makes sense when a lot of money, time, and people are on the line. But working independently has the advantage of improvising more and often improve the final result. Before waiting for the night shoot on stage, we noticed a fun, colorful box created by Sony for the 80s night. We decided to do some lip syncing there, and it started a new approach to the storyline, where Curtis was actually dreaming this whole music video and jumping from a desaturated world to a very colorful one, where he's the star on stage. We quickly shot in 10 minutes the intro and outro scene of him using the classic Sony Walkman to play music while relaxing. So in the end, he's basically an 80s kid dreaming of becoming a rapper in a futuristic and colorful world. Besides desaturating in post, I accentuated the scene using few minimal sounds before starting the track. But I also used some visual effects. I asked my colleague Carl Calderon to create a quick transition to enter the dream sequence, which is also the beginning of the song. And throughout the music video, you also see some drawing graphic to accentuate that cartoon dream-like vibe. To create the zoom effect, Carl used After Effects. He used rotoscoping and masking with a couple of different distortions effects. While for the drawing effect, he used Photoshop to draw over the video with its onion layers option, allowing to drawing in animation forward or backwards. At night, it was time for Curtis to perform. I asked him not to perform for the camera and focus on his performance. In that case, my approach is more cinema verite, which means like working on a documentary and capture whatever happens in the best way possible for my goal. When Curtis walked on stage, I tried to stay as much as possible behind him. That's the way I can capture the big crowd and mask the fact that he's singing different lyrics from the song we're working on. If he was singing Running, I would have shot him also from profile or the front, and then shot from behind during another song or performance. This way, we have him performing for a big crowd in his dream sequence, and to create variety and keep up the fast pace, I also shot B-roll of the skaters, which keep that colorful 80s dreamlike vibe we have throughout the video. Most of what I shot was already prepped for the post-production. I just have to divide the timeline in blocks, based on the scene. Syncing was probably the hardest part, but as I showed you in a previous episode, you can always zoom in on lips and sync word by word. But once that's done, it's all about finding a visual rhythm within the track and pick the right moments for each accent and change of the beat. I always suggest to try a couple of different paces with the edit to see which one works better for your taste. You can cut on every beat of the song, but it might become very confusing and almost create an anxious vibe. And that might be something you're looking for, but try also to slow down and see how the visual fit in the overall beat. I also play often with motion within the shots. Zooming in and out sometimes can take place of a cut in the flow of the track. Since I shot multiple scenes, I will use the jump between the hook and verses to change the visuals and give them a stronger intro into the video, like a musical accent to present a new scene. Once the edit is complete and Curtis approved the video, I finalized the color correction. Rap videos are ideal when you want to push for saturation, contrast and sharpness, because you almost feel like everything is allowed, especially with that 80s vibe and dreamlike scenes. I added layers of effect like the aperture diffraction and halation to make the light source softer and bigger in the shot, but also accentuate that dreamy visuals. That's all for Running by Curtis Roach. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment and subscribe to AdoramaTV. Let me know if you want to see any specific type of music video for future episodes. And I hope you enjoyed Behind the Beat.
I want you to stay, I want you to say, hey, I love you, yeah. Feels like you're running away.